Welcome to episode 30 of the Lightning Round. I'm your host, Lightning.
I'm the other host, Guy. Hi.
And as always, the Lightning Round is brought to you by Philly Games.
I was going to say...
Go ahead and check out their website at www.phillygames.com. Just a couple announcements before we get started here. We haven't had an episode in 2 weeks because there hasn't been any new episodes that have come out from My Little Pony. And so we took that time to do some top 10 videos. If you look on my channel, there will be 2 new videos up there. One's the top 10 videos of 2012, and the other one is the top 10 songs of 2012.
Yay!
So definitely go and check those out if you haven't yet.
Or else. I mean, what? Yes.
So anyway, why don't we get started and go into this episode. Obviously, this is one that a lot of people have been talking about, a lot of people have been waiting for. It's called Calm and Flutter On. And just real quick before we get started, I want to make a note here. For those of you that didn't know, this is a little bit different than any other episode we've seen simply because the premise for the episode was actually submitted by a brony called Teddy Antonio.
Teddy Antonio.
And apparently it was a while ago. He sent this premise in like last summer or something like that. It was a really long time ago that they actually sent this premise in. And Dave Polsky is the one that took it and actually wrote the episode based on it. But this is pretty much the first brony-created episode.
I wouldn't
if you want to
necessarily
call
say
it
brony-created, but it's possibly inspired in some ways.
Okay.
'Cause
We'll go with that. Brony-inspired, it works well. So, AR, why don't you go ahead and give us the basic synopsis?
Oh, lovely. So, keep calm and flutter on, or as the original name was, a Draconiquist in my home, I think it was, right?
It's Fluttershy's home for Draconic Quiet, or something like that.
Oh yeah, Fluttershy's home for Reformed Draconiquist. Yes.
That's what it was, yeah.
And so that was the original title of this episode, but since it was too obvious as to what it was referring to, they want to change it to Keep Calm and Flutter On. Now, back to the synopsis. In this episode, you have the ponies all gathered together except for AJ and Fluttershy. They're off in Sweet Apple Acres. In the meantime, with the other main ponies, they are talking about why Celestia has gathered them together. For a very special guest, actually. And as they realize soon enough, Celestia has brought Discord to them. And Twilight screams, "What are you thinking?" And so Celestia begins to explain that she would like to use Discord's magic for good. So what Princess Celestia does is gets the elements of harmony and gives them to the main six. But first, they have to get Fluttershy and Applejack, who are at Applejack's Sweet Apple Acre farm place thingamajiggy. And while there is beaver issues. They are damming the place. No, not with swear words, but they are flooding the land with their dams they build. Damn them. And so you have a Fluttershy. They have a little confrontation where they settle the whole issue. Anyway, Rainbow comes and gets them, and then they go get the elements of harmony. Celestia believes in Fluttershy the most because she's kindness. And so the elements of harmony use their magic-built powers to set free Discord from his stone entombment embodiment thingy-majiggy. Which also, I should note this, that Celestia enforced the magic powers onto the elements of harmony to not have Discord be able to hide them from the main six, which I really think would have been helpful if she hid them in the first place. That's just me. Moving on. Lots of antics go on with Discord, which I really enjoy a lot of the animations that go on with Discord as he is coming back to, in the episode thingy, coming around, I guess. So, moving on, Fluttershy volunteers to take Discord into her home, and she basically tries her best to befriend him, giving him a little space, letting him have his own free space, but her other friends are not believing this at all. They go through out more antics, including a Beauty and the Beast reenactment with Gravy, which, by the way, Gravy has meat in it, so I don't know why ponies would eat it. Anyway, Well, partially meat. Anyway, so you have them still not believing Discord, and then it goes on. Then earlier, Discord made some hypnotized like some beaver things, made them angry, flooded the Sweet Apple Acres again, but like it's more of a global flood like thing, I guess. They're getting ready to build the ark essentially around the trees. So um, this whole thing with Discord went on again, and they had Discord try and fix the situation he caused. They assume it's him instantly without any proof, and so he says he will fix it as long as Fluttershy doesn't use her element of harmony against him. She promises. He turns the whole lake, well, it's now a lake, I guess it was Sweet Apple Acres, into a frozen lake and starts ice skating. Anyway, Fluttershy threatens the friendship that they had developed and that he will be lonely again without a friend. And he's like, oh no. And then he's like, oh no. There's actually a difference. One was sarcasm, one was like, oh no. And so Discord fixes everything, and then he ends it off with the mind-blowing saying of that friendship is magic, and that is essentially what happens, and he is reformed to good for the most part.
Pretty much, I think that's the term he uses, is for the most part.
Yeah, he does.
So there's quite a few things that they do in this episode that's just it's a lot of foreshadowing. There's a couple things that they do that I was really impressed with.
I did not see anything relating to King Somber in here at all.
No, I didn't.
Darn it.
Why?
Well, you said foreshadowing, and I thought King Somber.
That doesn't make any sense.
Don't you recall episode 2 when his horn flew across the screen, foreshadowing?
Yeah, but that wasn't foreshadowing.
Well, it should have been foreshadowing.
Anyway, so here's the deal. You got, first of all, the fact that he hypnotizes those beavers at the very beginning of the episode, and you see them, everyone, like, in the background of the shots throughout the entire episode, and then of course you have the end where you figure out what they're doing, what's going on with the beavers. You knew that they were going to have some bearing on the episode by the end, and of course they did.
Yes.
So I think that was cool that they had that play through the entire episode. The other thing that I found really interesting was when he's eating the paper, and at the time it's really odd, you know.
Yeah.
And then you figure out that he was eating the pages from that contained the reforming spell that Twilight was looking for. And I thought that was really cool that they added that. Just, this really random occurrence that actually means something later on in the episode. It's pretty well done. I didn't expect them to do that.
A problem I personally had with this episode is the story itself. It has great potential. The story, but the problem is the time constraints of the episode itself, and the way Discord was reformed. I think could have been a lot better if it were drawn out to a 2-part episode like thing, because it just doesn't make sense for Discord to change just because of that one instance. I understand the concept, but the character that Discord doesn't fit with an instant change like that. I think it would have been much better with the 2-parter and drawn out.
Yes, it's really it does escalate pretty quickly, and the idea behind it that he finally finds friendship, and then he discovers that it's something he doesn't want to lose. It makes sense enough so that it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but still, overall, for story elements wise, it would fit much better if it were drawn out. I was personally hoping in this kind of story, because I knew Discord coming back, I was hoping he possibly wouldn't be reformed in this episode, but later, because I think him perhaps running off and causing chaos elsewhere would have been nice, where he disappears and they have to go and find him eventually, but for now, they stay there and he's gone, sort of thing, and then he has reoccurrence later. I think that would have been an interesting twist of the whole thing.
Well, and now I'm wondering, here's the thing. Discord is by the end of the episode, Discord is reformed.
Mostly.
Um, mostly, and um, first of all, I want to know what Celestian needs his powers for. Why this whole thing came about to begin with,
That's true.
and secondly, is where is he going to stay? I mean, does he live in Ponyville now, or does he go to Camelot and stay at the castle with the princess?
In prison.
It doesn't really in prison. I mean, because they leave the elements of harmony with Twilight in Ponyville,
Yes.
which kind of leads me to believe that Discord's going to be in Ponyville. In fact, I'm really hoping to see a little bit more of Discord. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't have a speaking part, but maybe you see him in the background walking around with the other ponies in Ponyville, like they do with Lyra and Bon Bon.
Yeah,
and stuff
I
like
personally would prefer Cancelot because it's more because I think Celestia would still take more precautions. You just supposedly reformed a creature that is solely designed for chaos. His sole purpose is chaos and disorder. So,
But now here's the thing. Yes, chaos. He's still the embodiment of chaos, and he's still
disorder.
He's still Discord. The thing is that I felt even in the very first time you see him in the Return of Harmony, he's not inherently evil.
He's not.
Necessarily.
Because chaos isn't necessarily evil. It is things out of order, things that are different that don't make sense. It is chaotic and not linear in most situations. I mean, yes, chaos derives from evil and lack of order. But for the most part, chaos is something that where it exists, it will begin to cause evil in some ways because you throw things out of balance. Now, his character personality, it is not necessarily evil, you are correct, but I still think Celestia would, of course, take the precautions to keep him in Canterlot. I would personally like that better than to see him in Ponyville in the background. I don't know. I think it's because it seems like they're making Discord more of a, I don't know, just bringing him more into the background, where
I would love to see Discord as more of a main character. Maybe just a side character, someone like Mr. and Mrs. Cake. Where they're in several episodes, but they have very few lines or whatever. But you see them enough where they're not background characters, they're side characters. So Discord, I'd like to see him in more episodes with more speaking lines and stuff like that. And just see him more often. I understand that a lot of people, especially I went and I was at a meetup when we watched this episode, and there was one person there that didn't like the episode because he thought that they're getting rid of all the villains. It's like kind of the same thing they did with Trixie, and yes, they're getting rid of the villains. But that just makes way for more villains, obviously. And to be quite honest, I thought Discord as a protagonist would be kind of interesting, actually.
It would definitely throw an interesting twist into the whole story, but I would still prefer him as an antagonist, if not side character that always struggles with, in a sense, doing good. Would really fit his character as well. Because
now think about this. You did you watch Dragon Ball Z ever?
Yes.
I mean, it's almost the same thing that happened with Vegeta. He ended up being a good character, but he still had that that bad side to him. He was never actually like a friendly character, but he cooperated with the heroes. You know what I mean?
I see.
And this could be kind of like the same thing where he's, he won't use his magic for evil, and he'll still cause chaos,
Yeah,
somewhat.
like I said, also struggling with choosing the truth. Vegeta always struggled with doing what was right, in most cases. Mostly selfish and doing what he wanted. It's like with Discord, because Discord sole purpose. His character nature is causing chaos and disorder because it's what he does, what he lives and breathes. So it would be very interesting, yeah, to see him as a side character now. But another thing is the references in this episode as well. Although I will also say that before I get to the references, Angel fighting for the spot on the couch was adorable. And Angel's a demon.
Angel annoys me, but that's just me.
Angel's a demon bunny. But let's see, where was I going? References. Beauty and the Beast was probably the biggest reference. Next to, I think, in some ways, Alice in Wonderland, just because of the feel the episode had.
Well, especially when you look at what happens with Fluttershy's cottage when they go for the dinner, it actually looked like a scene right out of Alice in Wonderland.
It does, and also the way that Discord reminds you of the Chestershire Cat. And it's, like I said, that kind of character. But also the Beauty and the Beast scene with the dancing candles, the dancing fish, and the gravy bowl, who was voiced by Tabitha St. Germain. And
is that really true? Yeah. I mean, they said that somewhere, but it doesn't really say anything.
I think it's in the credits last I checked, but
Okay, it does say that she's credited as voicing the gravy bowl, but the funny thing is that all it does is bark, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I got to voice act as a rat today in class. So it was very interesting. Anyway, going back to the story, let's see. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of references in here, and you get the Disney feel in this episode, which I enjoy. I really enjoy what they do with the animation for Discord, where he says he couldn't roll his eyes. I love when he took his eyes out, rolled them onto the ground, and there were holes, and they were in his head. The animation for that was it was witty.
Right.
The look.
I think that they mentioned on EQD that Dave Polsky loves to write these kind of visual gags, and he's really good at doing it. And so there's several that they do in this episode. Did you see Discord breaking the fourth wall?
Oh yeah, I said oopsie.
Yeah. Completely looked at the screen and
he whispered to us.
That was good. That was good.
But like I said, I love the visual gags because you do get that. What was I saying? You get that Looney Tunes feel to it, but more of, like I said, you get the Alice in Wonderland Disney feel because it's so abstract. And I love the episode for that. Story, like I said, it would have been much better extended. This story could have made a much better two-parter. It was just too fast-paced. But like I said, time constraints.
Well, yeah, exactly. Time constraints. There's not much you can do when you have a 22-minute time frame.
Yeah, exactly.
To work with. Now, another thing is that lamp.
Everyone wants that lamp.
Well, yeah. How long do you think until someone actually makes it?
I'll give it another week.
Oh, that lamp. Wow.
It's not too hard to make. You'd use the glass ceramics, but then all you have to do is just rewire the wire. Instead of going through the top, you just make it go through his arm and then out where the bulb would be in his hand. So...
yeah, it wouldn't be necessarily
it's not.
hard.
Just take some ceramic skill, and that's about it, and a bit of wiring, but not too much trouble.
Haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure someone will make it. I mean, this fandom is so creative that they'll be able to do it.
Like I said, I'll give them a week.
So another thing that was interesting was the elements of harmony. They're wearing the elements of harmony the entire time the episode is playing. And it's good to see him again. We haven't seen him in season 3 yet.
And now they have farmer's hands on their necks, except Twilight. She has one in her mane.
What?
I said farmer's hands anyway. Moving on.
So, I mean, the elements of harmony, I'm not even sure how they work because, I mean, they always seem to have a different effect. They can use it to release Discord. They can use it to seal Discord. They can use it to cure Nightmare Moon. I
think it's really for getting rid of like disorder and something that shouldn't be there, like Nightmare Moon. Getting rid of evil. Getting rid of Discord. Getting rid of what the heck were they used for after that? Discord again. Okay.
Well, no. Here's the thing as well is that. Twilight mentioned something like, "Let's hope this release spell works or
Reform
whatever."
spell.
It, no, release, because this is when
Oh
she's
yeah.
trying to release him, and what I'm thinking is, I wonder if the elements of harmony kind of like amplify her magic, so like they can do whatever Twilight wants them to do, but it just amplifies it to make it popular, or possible. Amplifies it to make it
It is
possible.
now popular. But it is
So
a possibility, but I don't think we have a definite answer because they're just a trump card for about anything. Which really, that's all they are. They're props to get rid of the ultimate evil. They don't have to be explained because of the kind of items they are. They're magical items that will get the job done. They don't necessarily need to be explained unless you're a story nerd like me. And Lightning, I guess. And other people, like Writer's Block. Anywho. Um, but that was a nice reappearance, and I'm glad they didn't bring him back in the beginning of this season. That would have just been, because just opening with the elements of harmony each time is just like, why?
yeah, I mean that does make sense.
But they
You
made a
know.
nice reappearance. They were not used to solve the ultimate problem, just released Discourse, so they were not hyped as the ultimate weapon to heal the entire situation of the episode. So
They weren't used as a Deus Ex Machina in the episode. However, I
what?
mean a Deus Ex Machina.
What?
Are you not familiar with that term?
No, I'm 19.
Well, you should still know what Deus Ex Machina means.
What's it mean?
Deus Ex Machina is a phrase that pretty much
Is it
means
French?
that. Well, I think it's Latin
Okay, even better.
actually.
As long as it's not French.
But anyway, I think. But what it means is that it's from Shakespearean language, where it
Oh,
just means
okay.
that the gods will interfere and
I
solve all the
remember
problems.
now. I had to think.
And so Deus Ex Machina would
Yeah.
be like it describes what the elements of harmony are. They're a fix-all. They're the
Yeah, okay.
go-to thing to fix all
It has
problems.
been so long since I now remember. Once you started to explain it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I learned about this in English. That was back in high school, people, when I actually participated in what they call English class. But yeah, I go okay, yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, it's like the Dragon Balls for Dragon Ball Z. Actually, is
Yeah,
essentially what
I
they
mean,
are.
there's some in everything, you know.
Yeah, Bleach. You had actually, I forgot what they had in Bleach. It's still a good anime. But moving on, we're on ponies now, not Bleach.
Um, Now, I mean, this is obvious because I mean, Discord's the main part of the episode. I love the return of John Delancey. It's great to hear him voice act again. It brings back memories of the return of Harmony, and I just love his voice for Discord. It was just great to hear it again. I was waiting for that, ever since I heard this episode. So,
Yes. Overall, the episode itself, it wasn't that bad. It definitely wasn't the worst in the season. One. And, good story. I really love the, story idea and concept that it had to it. But, like I said, it could have been drawn out better. So I'm going to give this episode a 7.5.
7.5, huh?
Yes.
I mean, I like the episode. I mean, yes, there were some problems with it, and obviously it escalated quite quickly. But I'm gonna give it an 8.5. It has
It
Discord,
has
and
Discord, and that's all I need.
I mean,
Screwlot.
it was funny, and it had some things I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I'll definitely give it an 8.5 for that.
Alrighty, that made that episode quite interesting. So what's next?
Well, we haven't had an episode for 2 weeks now, so obviously there's a lot to go and talk about. Why don't we start with one of the biggest topics that has occurred over the time that we took a break? Um, the BronyCon documentary came out just this last weekend. It was released to the public. It was actually delayed a week, which I thought was interesting. They delayed it a week, and then it came out just this past weekend. Just so everyone knows, it is on YouTube. I think it's unlisted.
No, Hasbro's listening in. Don't say a word. Wait, no, Hasbro isn't actually in charge of it. Never mind.
But yes, the BronyCon documentary is on YouTube. It might be difficult to find, but it is there. So if you don't want to pay the $13 to watch it, then you can definitely find it on YouTube. However, it wouldn't be a bad idea to help the people that made it and actually pay for it. But AR has not seen it yet.
I've seen some of it.
Seen bits and pieces. So I'm going to quickly go over just some of the parts that I enjoyed about it. I'm really happy with it. It was well done. Obviously, if you haven't heard, this one focuses a lot on the fandom, a lot of the people that that are in the fandom, and just different stories from different bronies in the community, and how this fandom has changed their lives, changed their view of themselves, stuff like that. So there's a lot of good, heartwarming stories involved in it as well. There's also quite a few animation sections where it actually shows John Delancey as his OC, Tara Strong as her OC makes an appearance as well. And it's really cool because the animation parts are all done in rhyme. So Discord, or I guess John Delancey, is almost singing for part of it. And I think they have that part of that specific part of the Brony documentary is also available on EQD.
And also I think Jan Animation did some animations as well.
I think that's who did the animations for this
really?
video, because it is show quality animation. We're talking like the same kind of thing we saw with Picture Perfect Pony. It's about the same. It's about the same type of animation, and it's really well done. And Derpy's in
it. Wait, what?
They just have Derpy because they make up this school called Pony University, and he's talking. He walks into this class and starts.
I
talking
think I
about,
remember now. Yeah.
And Derpy's just sitting in the audience or whatever.
Which there was actually, for those of you interested, there was a discussion going on Equestria Daily still about Derpy. I believe the discussion is going on for a little bit longer. I'm not sure how long.
That's because it's the year anniversary of her first speaking.
It is. That is why there's that. There is also another poll on Equestria Daily, but you can check that because they changed it often. Right now it's...
Well, yeah. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I did enjoy it. There's also just a lot of just specific things about the community. The very beginning of it, they have they interview a couple of people, and it doesn't say the question that they asked them or what they told them, but it almost seems like they went up to random people on the street and just said, "Hey, there's a fan base of adult males who watch My Little Pony. What do you think about that?" And obviously, you get to see their reactions. A lot of them are thinking that it's really kind of weird, kind of crazy, and so you get those viewpoints from people. And then, of course, they go off and they show some clips from news outlets that have showed us in a less than positive light before. Yeah, well, anyway.
Oh, fuck.
That's how it starts out. And it shows all these negative views and just people that don't know who we are, and that I think that's what the main point of this documentary is. Because John Delancey said that that's what made him mad about it, is because they didn't know what they were talking about when they were reporting on this, and he said that the one thing he wanted to accomplish with this is to inform people, tell them what this community is about, tell them how great it is. So I think that that's what the main purpose of this documentary is to do, is to tell people that it's not strange, it's different, but it's not bad. It's not a bad fandom.
Yes.
So that's my 2 cents on it, but I mean, yeah, definitely go and watch it for yourself. It's it's about an hour and a half long. So definitely a good length.
Or else. Wait, what?
And it's a really good thing to take a look at.
Yes, indeed. Now then, there is actually an artist training ground going on in Equestria Daily right now. For those of you artists out there, I know I'm one of them, but I do not participate in the training grounds. I'm too lazy. Right now, I believe it is... Oh, what is it? Crap muffins. I forgot. Come here, laptop. I need you. Come, my friend. Yes, come to me. Come to my Schwarta. Now then, so, after accessing my laptop and various other things, the training ground, I believe, is... I'm on the wrong page, beyond Equestria Daily right now. So, yes, here it is. Keep Calm and Flutter On. The episode we just talked about is having the, whatchamacallit, training grounds.
Well, they always do that. The drawing training ground is always for the episode that just aired.
Oh, yeah, I know that, but it's just released a bit after, actually, because...
Well, yeah, I mean, after the episode
Well, I
airs,
mean, it released a few days after. Normally it's like the day of or the day after. This was a couple days after.
Anyway.
Yes. In the meantime, on Equestria Daily, there is also the possible Alicorn Twilight toy in Toy World magazine. It's quite interesting, actually. The January 2012 edition of Toy World magazine has a playset above the listed on 211th on its 211th page, which I don't know why the magazine has that many pages. It does seem to be depicting an alicorn that matches Twilight Sparkle's color, but there's always a chance it's another pony entirely.
So now, AR, why don't we talk about this real quick? Because we need to get this out in the open.
No.
For those of you that don't want to hear anything that may
turn
spoil
it off
future
now.
Episodes, just mute it for now, because we're going to talk about this and
discuss I was actually going to say turn it off at the beginning of the whole podcast, but I suppose now is a good time to any other as well.
Anyway, AR,
yes.
Here's the deal. Twilight being an alicorn is something that people have been talking about because the last episode, what they're doing with the finale is that they're having an event a lot like the royal wedding.
Spoilers, do not listen, people. If you don't want spoilers,
they're calling the event Princess Coronation. And the episode is Magical Mystery Cure, I believe.
Yes, it is.
What it's called, and it involves the switching of cutie marks and destinies. I'm wondering exactly what happens, but the only thing I can think of is that if it's switching cutie marks, there's a slight chance that what happens is when they do this, Twilight somehow ends up with the princess's cutie mark, which turns her into an alicorn.
That is a possibility, and very interesting as well.
Which also would think that if they solve the problem by the end of the episode, she would also turn back into a regular unicorn by the end of the episode as well.
It'd be very interesting, but another thing also is that in this episode, for those of you still listening, which I'm sure you are, is that you have Twilight conjuring her own magic in this episode. Now, what that is, I don't know. I was going to go on some elaborate plot line, but I don't know the plot line. Now, an idea I have is that if you recall back to episode 1, and that is the sound going backwards, episode 1, we have Celeste and Luna pull up a book. Now, the book I believe is still significant to this whole season. Especially with Twilight, because she's going on to the next level of her magical training. And then she conjures her own spell and makes it. Now, that is possibility of graduation as her student. After all, Twilight Sparkle is still Celestia's student. She has technically never graduated. Now, could this be princess orientation as in graduating? Princess doesn't necessarily mean alicorn. Look at then again, Shining Armor, Princess Blueblood are princes, but they're not alicorns either. Maybe it's a female thing. Sexist show. Anyway, but a lot of possibilities. Now, I'm going to go back because the idea of Alicorn Twilight itself, we can worry about the story plot when we actually watch it, which I look forward to. The idea and plot sound very interesting to me, and what I would personally love if they did in this episode. Why have I been doing this with my hands? Sorry. When I've been talking, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like doing the rock signal with the I love you symbol with in sign language, but I put my thumb to my two fingers in the middle, and I've just been talking like. Anyway, after getting sidetracked, so what I would really like to see in this episode is, because you see the switching of destinies and cutie marks, is seeing into the future, or even another time travel spell where Twilight goes into the future, or some pony does, and sees the outcome of the events that have happened because of the switching of talents and cutie marks. I would love to see that. I think it'd add a lot to the story, and just not necessarily to the story actually, but for visual, it would probably look pretty interesting and cool in my opinion. It could add to the story as well, but so it's very interesting. This episode has a lot of opportunity, I believe, and not opportunity. What is it? Promise. Let's go with that word. It's a good word, depending if you're lying or not. But it has a lot of good promise, and I look forward to seeing what in the heck is going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something to look forward to, and it's keeping everyone guessing. I mean, no one knows for sure what's happening.
Nope.
Or what's going to happen.
Nope. But, now the idea of Alicorn Twilight, which I skipped over a lot already, I don't know how I feel about it, because a lot of people do not like the idea, but then there's other people who don't care as long as they get My Little Pony.
Well, that was the poll that they had
a few days ago.
Earlier on Equestria Daily was, what's your thoughts? And going in order, they said that most people said that they didn't care as long as there's just more pony. The second most popular was I hate the idea, and the third most
I really hate the idea.
The last one was I know it was I like the idea.
You had I hate the idea, I really hated the idea, or I don't care, I just want ponies. So no, but yeah.
The last option was I like it. And it actually got quite a lot of votes. I mean, there was several thousand. I think it got up to like 13,000, something like that, votes or whatever. I mean, it was pretty popular, and obviously a lot of people were just saying, "I don't care." Which, I mean, I'm kind of at that. I actually kind of like the idea because I like character development like that. But at the same time, what's going to change? I mean,
a lot.
Even if she was an alicorn, I don't know how much of the story would change.
Well, it really depends, because from what is seen, the alicorn are put in charge of major areas in a sense. So it could be the possibility of Twilight leaving and fourth season having a new main character come on. But
I don't know about that. That seems a little. Then
I said possibility. I didn't say it happened.
I don't see any of the main six leaving the show.
Well, yeah, I didn't say it happened, but she doesn't have to necessarily leave. But I don't know how I feel about the idea. I'm not for it. I'm not necessarily against it, though. I'm in middle grounds, but I'm leaning a bit more towards I don't like it.
I wouldn't mind if, like I said, if she became an alicorn and then by the end of the episode it was resolved and she turned back into a unicorn again. I would be fine with that.
But if it were a permanent thing, I think it'd just be... The reason a lot of people don't like it is because it'd be very, very weird, where you have a character defined for 3 whole seasons as one species, and change into another entire different race where it's more goddess-like in a sense, and obviously your powers would more likely increase.
Well, that's the kind of thing. Alicorns are extremely OP.
Well, of course they are. Why do you think Celestia didn't beat Chrysalis? Oh, wait a second.
But at the same time, alicorns are viewed to be all-powerful and can pretty much solve any problem.
Well, no, I mean, Celestia doesn't do a lot. She sent Twilight after Nightmare Moon. She could not fight off...
she didn't send Twilight after Nightmare Moon. I mean, because I mean, Celestia was captured for most of that episode. Imprisoned in the sun.
What?
Yeah.
What?
She was gone for the entire episode.
She was
because
sleeping.
She was captured by Nightmare Moon. She was not.
It was
sleeping.
nighttime.
She was imprisoned in the sun.
She was sleeping. It was night. I would do the same thing. Oh, the moon's still out. I better stay asleep. That's just me, though.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But that's one theory. It's never been proven. So, she couldn't fight off what's her face, Chrysalis. She couldn't fight off Chrysalis. She couldn't defend herself against Discord, regardless of the elements of Harmony. She couldn't fight off Discord without the elements of Harmony. Now, if Alicorns, I love my English, Alicorns were so OP'd, you would think she'd be able to use them herself. I mean, she used them against Nightmare Moon.
Well, the only problem with that is that she mentioned that her link with the elements, didn't exist anymore.
True.
Because it's the main 6 that used them the last time, and so they were made specifically for those 6 ponies. She can't use the elements of Harmony.
Yeah, that's
anymore.
True. I forgot about that. Either way, she wasn't much help in that episode at all.
Yeah,
she wasn't much help in the Grand Galloping Gala. She made things worse.
Well, she didn't try. She wanted the Grand Galloping Gala to be a little bit more interesting, and it definitely was.
All I can think of that video I saw, I don't remember his name, but he does brony commentaries on the episodes, and it was hilarious. And so it was at the part, and he's doing basically a Let's Watch review on Muffin Line Productions of the episode, and he goes, and so Spike says in the episode, "How was your best night ever?" And they're like, "It was awful." And he's like, "We all got raped." And then in the text you see, remember that phrase. Because Spike says, "Wow, that was the worst night ever." He's like, "The way I just said that makes it sound even funnier." Then Celestia comes in, "That was the best night ever." And so,
Princess Molestia.
And so that whole situation that arrived from that, but that's what that made me think of. But I don't really think Alicorns are overpowered. I mean, also look at Cadence in the Crystal Empire.
She was able to keep that spell up for a long time.
But then she
failed. Who knows how long she had that up before they even made it there.
That's true. Which also, I must say that Twilight's spell power over her her dome, her bubble sphere of magic, compared to her brother's was minuscule. Then her brother's compared to her brother's wife was minuscule. I just found that a bit funny. Anyway.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel Twilight could do it as well.
Wow, I'm just...
If she tried. She just only had it for the little, her house. But
Which I must say that is one of my favorite episodes. Anyways, Kingdom Hearts Chronicles. For those of you who didn't know. Anyway.
No, that's Ponyville.
That's what I said. So, Kingdom Hearts Chronicles, where did I get... Never mind. Anyways. Which is still one of my favorite episodes. Regardless. Anyway. What else do we have in the news today?
Well, for those of you who like writing, there's a event that has come up for you guys.
I saw that. I might participate.
It says that the topic is Discord is someone else's roommate. Pretty much the idea behind it is that Fluttershy is unavailable, and you still have Celestia coming to Ponyville with Discord. And instead of Fluttershy, you are put as Twilight Sparkle, and you have to pick the pony that can do the best job of
Spike.
stopping Discord from destroying the city and befriending him in the
Are we allowed to
process.
use Spike?
I suppose.
I'm so.
It doesn't say you can.
I'm so gonna write it with Spike.
But in 250 to 300 words, you have to write your episode from start to finish. In the comments, by the way, it wants you to actually, pretty much go to this post and write your story in the comment section of the
I
post.
can so do that. I am so gonna use rarity. My mind is a mess with ideas right now.
And so, I mean, 250 to 300 words, that's a challenge.
That's
to
not
write
a lot.
So that's like a
It's
paragraph.
like a paragraph. But the problem is it's so short. Because knowing me, I want to add more and more and more.
Oh, by the way, no locking him away. You can't do that.
Son of a mother.
Said Celestia took the elements with her, and you can't lock him up. So you have to pick someone to try to do it. It's interesting, and it's definitely a challenge with 250 to 300 words. It's going to be difficult to write an entire episode out. But if you're a fan of writing, definitely go and check that
I'll
out.
probably be participating, so all of you expect to lose to my power. How's it put in? Yes. Moving onwards. Is there anything else new in the community? Lots of Draw Friend stuff came out. That's about it. Well, I mean, there's also, too. You had new songs as well.
A bunch of convention news as well. I mean, we're talking, let's see, Unicon has Tabitha St. Germain and Andrea Libman coming out. They also said that there's going to be Michelle Krieber, Kathy Wesluck, and Britt McKillop.
Britt McKillop!
Which is,
aye.
well, yeah, it's good to see her again. I mean, we've only seen her at one so far, so that was pretty good. They have Brayburn. Now, obviously, we talked about this a little bit. Michael Dangerfield is the one that's going to be at Fiesta Equestria. We talked about this because, there was a big deal apparently that even Andrew Francis wasn't aware that his voice was not used as the original Brayburn.
Which makes me wonder, how similar did they sound?
I'm not sure.
Because to not recognize your own voice being used in an episode is a big thing. Because I can.
Well, that's the thing. He didn't actually watch the episode. The
jerk.
When people actually started to saying, asking him about it, and they started realizing that it's not Andrew Francis doing this voice. That's when he said, "Okay, yeah, I heard about this. I'm gonna go watch the episode myself right now." But yeah, he never actually watched.
Well, what did it say in the credits?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen Over a Barrel, and I'm not sure what it said in the credits.
I'm gonna go watch it again because no Jeopardy's not in there. Oh well. Puffy the Magic Dragon's in there though, and Fluttershy likes to be a tree.
It was a good
episode. I believe there's one more thing I'm forgetting. Not we could probably.
Well, there's I want to go over a couple of animations that have come out because there were.
Oh, the new episode of My Little Portal.
There was at least two that were really good. My Little Portal did release episode 3. It was good. I saw it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because
it's different.
It starts explaining a little bit about this. If you watched episode 2. This is 10 years in the future after
the whole incident, which
the incident at the factory.
Which I must say,
and apparently this entire facility is on the moon.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Is what they said.
It really doesn't.
And so it's interesting. They start showing a couple more characters, rarities in this one.
Rainbow Dash makes a reappearance, which I must say I loved her reappearance.
Well, Rainbow Dash, she doesn't say anything, but I mean, we knew she was being operated on, and it was interesting to see what they did to her.
I loved it, personally. I like those kind of dark, twisted things. I'm like that. I don't know why. And yet I write family stories. Moving on.
The other one that came out that was relatively interesting was the Rainbow Dash Presents My Little Dashie. The only problem I had with it is that they changed it so much that it almost can't be considered the same fanfic anymore.
True. I do agree to that, but nonetheless, it was still entertaining, and they had a song, which I must say was catchy.
Yes, they did. They had a song.
It was catchy, dang it. Too catchy. And Rainbow Dash got fat, which I found funny. And then she just left. Up and left. I found that kind of funny.
Yes, dang sugar cubes.
All right. She never took off that way because she loves sugar cubes so much.
Tickets are going on sale for Galacon on January 26th. There'll be tickets for Galacon.
If you want to see me, I'll be there. Wait, no, I won't.
You're not going to be at Galacon. That's in Europe.
I am European.
No, Lightning Rabbit is
Technically,
European.
he's United Kingdom and
Whatever.
British. Yes. Anywho, yes, for those of you in Europe, I need all three of you. You can go ahead and go to Galacon. They will be having what the heck? When is it? I'm not looking at the page right now.
I'm actually not sure when Galacon is.
I think it's in June, like 13th. I want to say.
I'm not
Sometime in
100% sure.
2013, Galacon will be occurring. Please go to Equestria Daily and look up more information. Big AppleCon, or whatever the heck it is called, will be happening in New York in March. I believe the 24th. They'll be having quite a few guests there as well, and a lot of blah. BronyCon will be happening in... When is that happening? When is BronyCon happening?
BronyCon is August 2nd through
4th. Yeah, that's right. So, those of you who want to go to BronyCon, the biggest and probably the baddest of the conventions this year, there will be a lot going on, for sure.
Yeah, there definitely will be a lot going on.
Fiesta Equestria for you guys also, for those of you in Texas, which I will be attending Fiesta Equestria myself, will be June 28th to the 30th.
In fact, both of us
Yes.
will be there for that.
You can go ahead and kick him in the shins and give me a hug.
So you can pretty much expect us to have some coverage of that con, as we will both be there. We might even do an episode live from there, so keep that in mind. That might be something that we try to do.
Where's the fun in that?
Some coverage of the...
Anyways. I'll be oh, yeah.
Oh, for those of you that watched the Batman in Ponyville
feel sorry for you.
Episode and liked it, there's a new one called Spider-Man Meets My Little Pony, which they actually hinted to at the end of the Batman episode. I think Spider-Man shows up at the end of that animation, and so they made a whole new story with Spider-Man, which is actually pretty funny.
Same type of animation.
Yeah, same type of animation.
Pictures.
So it's kind of funny. Instead of Twilight being the character that shows the superhero around, it is now Rainbow Dash that leads Spider-Man around Ponyville and as he gets into shenanigans. And of course, Spike gets beat up again.
It's Spike.
Yeah. It's Spike.
Shut up, Spike. But yes.
The poll that's on Equestria Daily right now is actually kind of interesting. They're asking when people started watching My Little Pony.
Early 2012 for me. I win.
It was early 2012 for me. Yeah, it was actually right around this time of year.
Last year.
Yeah, so about a year ago, almost exactly, is when I started watching the show. Currently in the polls right now, it's looking like middle of 2011 is winning with 26%, which makes sense. So, I mean, all of Season 1 aired, and then it got super hyped up, and so that summer after the first season aired is when a lot of people got into the fandom and started watching. But I mean, there's a good percentage that were entered into the end by the start of the second season as well. And you can see just how much it's grown. I mean, when you have BronyCon in January that has 700 people, 400 to 700 people or whatever, And then you have BronyCon 6 months later that has 4,000 people at
Yep.
it. It's kind of ridiculous how fast this thing actually grew.
Uh-huh. Yep. I believe that about does it. I think there's one more. Is there one more thing?
Uh,
I don't think so.
there, there's a couple of small minor things. There was a new commercial for the
Oh,
hub
yes.
that announced the Princess Coronation,
The
but that was, I
Princess
mean, we
Coronation.
talked about that a little bit. Um, More comic stuff that was kind of interesting. Uh, Apparently, comic 3 and 4 had been delayed a week
Ah.
each.
Oh, did you announce the takedown of the Friendship is Witchcraft episodes?
Yeah, I don't know if that happened before we took our break. So over the course of the time that we have been um, taking our break, uh, it was not just um, Friendship is Witchcraft, but who else was it? There was
Buffalo
another.
Productions.
Well, yeah, I know you guys were having problems, but there was another big, big time studio that was having issues. Anyway, the hub is
No,
really
Hasbro,
cracking
not the
down
Hub.
on. We're right. The Hasbro was
The
really cracking down on
Hasbro.
any kind of copyrighted material. So videos like, oh, you know who it was? It was Rainbow Dash
Oh,
Presents.
oh, that's right. Yeah,
Their
their mentally abridged
it
series.
was yeah, their mentally abridged series. Both the mentally abridged series and Friendship is Witchcraft use the exact animation from the show and then just dub over it. I think that was the problem that
Same
they're
here. We did
having.
that.
And so, being that Hasbro is doing this, I would be wary of putting any kind of footage from the show on
So far, PMVs actually seem to be all
on the
right.
internet. Because it's not. I mean, it's not in order. I mean, like you'll mix it up and do like different kind of animations with it.
That's true.
But it's not done in order like an episode
Why
would
is
be.
that song stuck in my head now? Because your kiss. I don't know why that's in my head. Anyways, I don't know why
Interesting.
I got from PMVs to that song. Anywho, yes, so those of you who upload lots of video content, correspond. Actually, no, he doesn't even do stuff anymore. But those of you who upload lots of video content from the episodes, especially if you do like let's watch a My Little Pony episode or let's review a My Little Pony episode, be wary because Hasbro may send you a copyright claim on the episode, which for now the claims are just taking down the episode in the United States. So if you have European fans, you'll be fine. If you're from Europe, you'll be fine. Although it may still be blocked in the U.S., but if you're in Europe, you don't care much about the U.S. or if you're in France, especially. Yes, but careful not to get any copyright strikes. Those will damage your channel's reputation with YouTube.
Well, plus if you get 3 of them, your channel will be terminated. So definitely be careful
Yes.
about that. Another thing that's kind of interesting is also that Build the Bear Workshop has announced that you can. They're going to start allowing you to make My Little Pony bears, as they put it, because that's what they're.
Yay!
It's called Build the Bear Workshop,
Yay!
which I guess that's kind of like making your own plushies, then, isn't it?
In some ways, yes, because you do all the stuff, but you do all the stuffing yourself, making the bear, sewing it. But also, I will say, Build-A-Bear is expensive. If you've ever been to them,
I haven't.
they're
really tried it, so
actually
I'm not sure.
Build-A-Bear is actually quite
Yeah.
expensive.
I'm sure it is.
But anywho, yeah.
Oh, here's something you got that's
Stop it! I want to go to bed.
Radio plays are pretty much exploding. There was 2 of them that came out. Reharmonized Ponies #7 came out.
Oh, and Doctor Who's an
for those of you
assistant.
that are.
Doctor Who's
Huh?
an assistant. Doctor Who's Adventures also released their newest episode.
I didn't actually
Really?
notice
I was
that.
talking with Jamjar, and he gave me the link, and they actually uploaded the episode recently. So
And for those of you that are interested in what Philly Games is up to, they've released their Hearthwarming Eve episode, which is absolutely
I
amazing.
was in it, and I did terrible.
AR, you can talk about it because you were in it.
Yes, the Philly Games radio play. For those of you who do not know, Philly Games is a game company devoted to making Welcome to Ponyville. For those of you who have played it, a very well done game, which is making a lot of progress this year. Nothing else will be said. And the radio plays are covering in the same universe, but on the holidays. In this one, you get a special. You get all the ponies looking for gifts for each other, especially Cadence. You will follow Cadence as she tries to find a gift for her husband's shining armor, also known as, me, in the play. So, go watch my Horde performance and find out what does Cadence give me for Heartwarming Eve. It's quite interesting. Very well done, great voice acting. The music is phenomenal in the radio play. I love the music. The story is very well done as well.
And just so everyone knows, I mean, if you've been watching the vinyl scratch tapes, you'll know about the character Al Capone. Well, he makes an appearance in this episode as well. So that's something to look forward to if you've been following the vinyl scratch tape series.
Yay, radio plays. Mind-making production. Anywho.
But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all we really needed to talk about. There was a lot to go over, being that we've been gone for a while, but a couple of big things that are going on. We'll have to see where some of this stuff is leading us, obviously. But, yeah. Sounding pretty good.
All right. I believe that we can end this off now, correct?
Yeah, that's all that we have for today. Next week we'll be talking about the episode. Let's see, what is it? It's it's the pet episode. I can't remember what it was called.
Wait,
though.
What?
The pet episode next week.
No, wait. I thought next week was the Cantaloupe Games.
No. The Games Ponies Play is the 12th episode.
Oh,
Remember,
that's right. It's not
right.
Spike at Your Service, but it is a Spike episode, and
Episode 8 is called Just for Sidekicks.
Just
that's
for
right.
Sidekicks.
And this was supposed to be Episode 8, but they delayed it apparently. That's what's going to be. It's Spike finds himself in over his head after convincing Twilight and her friends to let him pet sit all of their critters in exchange for a few gems.
Yep.
Very interesting. We'll have to see what happens there. Maybe we'll get to see Tank again.
And Owlicious, who also died off the face of the earth. And Gummy, yes. I want more Gummy.
Well, that's not necessarily true. Wasn't Owlicious in Magic Duel?
Yeah, but he just made a brief
sure
cameo. You'd think he would have made an appearance in Spike at Your Service, but no, he wasn't anywhere at night. And I keep getting Skype messages.
Well.
Stop it, people! Anywho.
Well, anyway, so yeah. Just for Sidekicks, that might be a good one, so definitely check that one. Definitely be there next week when we discuss that.
Not next week, it's the week after.
Until then...
Because it's another 2-week break.
No. It's only a 1 week break. Episode 8 airs on January 26th. There is a week break after that, where I think it's the 2nd. The 2nd there is no
the 9th
episode.
There's an episode.
But then the 9th is the Game Ponies Play, which another Cadence episode, so that's going to be interesting. So yeah, there's a 1 week break, and then we got the last 2 episodes of the season. So it's coming to an end. February 16th will be the last episode of the season, and we'll have to see what happens after that. So, well,
rumors.
Yeah, we just need to figure out when it's going to air. I hope they don't make us wait until next fall, because that would suck.
Yes. Well, that about does it, everybody. I have been Cabral095. Wait, no, I haven't. I've been AR.
You're mixing up your identities here.
Yes, my multiple personalities. I'm not doing a Let's Play right now. I need to upload one of those. Anyways. Yeah. I've been R.
Yes. And I am Lightning, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
This all seems very unfair. How come every pony else has theirs? I'd be lying if I said I could wait, because I really want mine right now. It kinda hurts when every pony stares to look at my flank and see there's nothing there. I'm not gonna sit down and cry, but sometimes it's just too much. I have tried so very hard to find a place where I belong, but instead of making peace with myself, I sing a little song. So I wake up every day, hoping that no pony else will say, how does it feel to not be special at all? Truth be told, I'd rather